Hi everyone, this is Shirley from ShopUpz Inventory. And today I'm super excited to present this session because we've launched a new feature. We're going to talk about it shortly. So as you know, ShopUpz is the home of multi-channel inventory management. We provide multiple apps today in the Shopify marketplace, the integration with Etsy, which we will discuss today, eBay, and Amazon. So let's get started. As mentioned, today we're going to talk about the integration between Shopify and Etsy. So we launched a new feature. This new capability is to connect your one Shopify account with two Etsy stores. Okay, this is new capability, and it's mainly for export listing at the moment. We also going to talk about import listings from Etsy to Shopify, how you can update your pricing on Etsy, export the listings from Shopify to Etsy, avoid overselling by using our quantity sync, and the order management capability. So let's get started. So export listing, this is really a new feature that we just launched. Up till now, you were able to connect only to one Etsy store and distribute the listings from Shopify to Etsy. And now we added additional Etsy store that you can connect. We're going to talk about what is the primary store, and those are all the capabilities that you used to use. And in addition, you can add secondary store and connect and export the listing to the secondary store. We will drill down just in a few minutes. So before this, let's talk about what ShopUpz deliver. We allow you to import listings from Etsy to Shopify, export listings from Shopify to Etsy, manage order, meaning we will import every new and paid order from Etsy to Shopify. We will also update the tracking number and sync quantities and update price so you will not oversell. Why should you use our app? Okay, so first of all, we understand that managing more than one store can be a real hassle. Okay, you need to be able to upload all the images to make sure that the quantities are aligned. We are turning your Shopify store to the source of truth. Okay, so you will be able to view all of your orders, both Shopify and Etsy, to consolidate them on a Shopify store. You will be able to fulfill your Etsy orders on Shopify, and it will help you if you're working with external suppliers as well. Okay, so the type of clients that we have today are custom made. We also have Etsy sellers and Shopify sellers that working with external suppliers, drop shipping, and print on demand. So if you have any specific questions regarding the type of merchant that you are and you need additional information, reach out and I will be happy to assist you. Okay, so first, what is important to note is if you have two stores or even more, the most important thing for you is to set SKUs. You may use maybe additional app to generate all those SKUs for you, or you can manually submit SKUs to each of your listings and variation. SKU is basically the identifier of your listing. This is the way that we know how to link and to export and not to create duplicate of your listing, to update the quantities. So SKU is the identifier. Based on the SKU, we're able to update the relevant listing on both of your stores, okay? My recommendation is really to set humanized. As you can see here, this is a red shoe. So I wrote here in the SKU, shoes, small red, okay? So it will be easier for me also to search for it in the future. You can also just create some kind of a random number. This is less recommended, but it's also an option for you. So just make sure that you're setting unique SKUs okay, to all of your listings and variations. Once you will start managing your listings cross stores, so SKU is required. Okay, so let's start with import listing. So import listing basically designed for the initial load. Let's say that you sold for several years on Etsy and now you want to expand to Shopify. Okay, so the import basically is meant for that you will be able with one click to import all of your Etsy listings into Shopify. Okay, so this is what we provide. It's a great starter for you to start selling on Shopify. So as you can see here, it's an option to set SKUs, okay? Although, as mentioned, I recommend, okay, before you will do the import, set SKUs to all of your listings and variation on Etsy, and then import, okay? We also allow you to import the listings without SKUs, okay? We understand that maybe you just sold on Etsy, you did not need SKUs up till now, so you have the option, okay? I will also demo it so you can see all the options that we provide in the import. As mentioned, once you will import all of your listings from Etsy to Shopify, the recommendation is that you will start creating new listings on Shopify and not on Etsy, okay? You do have the option, you can continue doing the import. We also support this, but the best practice is now when you're using Shopify, use it as your source of truth. Start generating new listings on Shopify and then export them via the export wizard to Etsy, okay? This is the recommended. So as mentioned, this is the export listing wizard. So you don't have to set SKUs, as I mentioned, okay? You have the option either to say, yeah, if this SKU already exists on Shopify, I want to create duplicate. We also provide the option that you will block the duplicate. So if this SKU already exists on Shopify, you don't want to generate duplicates. So we also provide you this option. You can just check it. And we will not import the duplicate. I will show you how it looks like in the wizard. Okay. So what exactly attributes are we importing? So as you can see, we recently launched the videos. Yes, we can import your videos from Etsy to Shopify, title, descriptions. You can see here the entire list of all the attributes that we will import. Also location, this is Shopify location. You need to state where the listing will be located. Okay, so now let's go to the import listing. So this is our app, okay? Let me share it, okay? This is our app. This is the onboarding dashboard. Here you can see all the capabilities that we provide. We provide the import listing as well. So let's go to the import listing tab. As you can see, this is the wizard. You can also see it in the left menu. You can select from what Etsy category you want to import. So for example, I can select the art. Then you also have the subcategory. This is also important. In Etsy, you have multiple statuses of the listing, okay? So you can decide what type of listings you want to import, either active, draft, expired, sold out, or inactive, okay? Okay, so you can select the types of listing. If you want to import specific listing, as mentioned, this is not the design. The design is that you will import all of your listing at once and then start managing them on Shopify. However, if you will decide to continue to import the listing each time, you can select the specific category and where in Shopify you want to import those listings, and also specify the location, okay, that you want to connect in Shopify. Select also the collection here that you want to import. here, this is also important. You can decide if you want to import the tags. I had another session, by the way, that we talked about the tags. I really recommend to view it. Export up to 100 variants, okay? So this is Shopify maximum number of variations. So you can either say, I want to import whatever they're inside on Etsy, and then if you will exceed the 100, we will just import whatever we can. Or you can say, no, I want to limit it up to 100. This is important option, okay? Avoid duplicates. If this SKU already exists on Shopify and you don't want us to create duplicates for you, so please check this option. It's recommended, and the default is that it will be imported, okay? So if I will click on import listing now, you will start see that it is starting to work. We will not do the import right now, but this is the process and this is how it works. Okay, so let's continue. Now let's talk about the export listing. Okay, so as I mentioned, we launched this new option to export to 2 stores, okay? Up till now, you were able to export only to 1 store. Now you're able to connect 2 stores, okay? So those are the attributes that we're exporting to Etsy. Please note that we export it to Etsy draft, okay? We are not going to activate the listing for you. The thing is that you can export it, then you can review it, and then you can publish it on Etsy, okay? So you can see here that we also added videos and the additional information like images, price, SKUs, so forth. Same thing, okay? As we talked about SKUs, here you have to set SKUs to all of your Shopify listings before the export, okay? We want to make sure that Shopify is your source of truth and that you don't create duplicates on Etsy. For that, you have to set SKUs to all of your listings and variations, okay? So please set SKUs, and then you can filter, okay? What you don't have in the import, you cannot filter for specific listing to import. Inside our export listing wizard, you can decide to export 1 listing, multiple listings, 1 collection, multiple collection. We provide much more granularity once you want to export the listing, okay? Remember that it's your source of truth. Also, Shopify provide, as you can see here, you can see based on the SKU, if the SKU already exists, and then you have the bulk editor when you can see exactly in what listing this SKU exists. So this is the best practice, and this is why we want you to work based on the best practice, okay? So in order to export the listing, first you need to go to Etsy, okay, to Etsy settings, and create the fixed shipping profile, okay? Please note there are 2 options on Etsy, either fixed shipping profile or calculated. You need to create the fixed shipping profile. So once you're clicking on create shipping profile, then you need to select here what you'll charge the fixed price, okay? Why is that? Because there are some missing attributes in Shopify that cannot be exported to Etsy, like size, height. So those attributes cannot be exported. So you need to create fixed. Once you export it via the fixed shipping profile, then you can go alter it, change to whatever shipping profile that you want on Etsy. It's also super easy to create. So just some important information for you to know. Etsy and Shopify are not designed exactly in the same way, okay? So when you export, you have that the price will be higher then 2 cents. Quantities, Etsy requires that your quantity will be from 1 to 999, okay? If you have unlimited stock, then we provide, I will show you in the export, a place where you can set a fixed quantity to all of your listings when we do the export. So you can put 999 or whatever number that you want between 1 to 999. The shipping profile has to be fixed and not calculated. And tags, please note tags, as I mentioned, there is a different video for that. But tags are used for different purposes on Etsy and on Shopify. Tags on Etsy are more for SEO. Tags on Shopify are more for internal search. Okay, so the tags in Etsy are limited. You can create up to 13 tags, and each tag can have up to 20 characters. Okay, so just note, and you can also use the option that we provide in the wizard not to export the tags. Okay, so how does it work really to export listing to 2 Etsy stores? Okay, so we added a new section, which is the store selection. You can select here the specific store that you want to export to it. Okay, in order to do so, you need to click here on upgrade to export to additional Etsy store. And then you will be assigned to our connection tab. In the connection tab, then you will have the option to click on add store. Okay, as you can see here, now we have this primary store and secondary store. Once you will click on add store, then you will be able to authenticate to the additional store. Please note, I really recommend that you will log out from all of your Etsy accounts. Make sure that right now you will authenticate to the right secondary Etsy store and not to another Etsy store like your primary. So please log out and then continue with the authentication process. So you will make sure that now you're going to connect to the right secondary Etsy store. Know that if you have a pop-up blocker, please look at the browser, disable it, so you will be able to continue with the authentication process. You will be assigned to Etsy. Provide your email and password to the secondary store. Approve, click on grant access, and then this is it. It's really simple process. You will have here the 2 stores in the connection tab. Okay, so this is the secondary. You see, we provide this tag, which is secondary. Why is it important? Because the secondary store is, you can only export listing, okay? If you will decide to use our order sync or our quantity update or price update, it only applies to the primary store, okay? Not to the secondary. At the moment, the secondary is only used for export listings, okay? So this is it. You just click on the Add Store and then you will be connected. Very simple. Then you can go to the export, select here the relevant store that you want to export. You will see here if it's connected, and then select the relevant option, and you will be able to export, select the Etsy category, the shipping profile, as I mentioned, fixed shipping profile. Then you can select the Shopify listing. You can either select specific listing or multiple listings, or you can select a specific or multiple collections in Shopify, okay? So you also have the option either to include tags from Shopify to Etsy, and also to provide fixed quantity. Okay, as I mentioned, if you have unlimited stock and you are obligated to set a quantity between 1 to 999, so please use this field and then export. Okay, Once you will export, then you will be able to view the logs in the sync history, okay? So you have the sync listing, which is the wizard. Then you have here the tab of sync history, where you can see the logs of all of the listings that were exported. If you will see the green sign, it means that this listing was created successfully on Etsy, and then you can go to Etsy Draft and view it. If you have the red sign, then it means that you had some kind of an error. You will see here error message, please click on it. And then, as you can see here, this is the error message. Click on this text, okay? Then a dialog will be opened and you can see the exact reason. Usually it will tell you this SKU already exists on Etsy, then you can either delete the listing on Etsy, or you can go and change the SKU on Shopify if you do want to create additional listing on Etsy. If you will see another error message, it can be due to quantity. As I mentioned, like you have more than 999 in the quantity, then you can go and make the relevant changes. Please look at the error sign. By the way, you have it both in the import and it's also in the export, okay? In each wizard, you have the sync history tab. Okay, so let's just see it in action. Okay, let's go to the export listing wizard. Okay, so right now I'm in the export listing wizard. You can see here that I have the two stores, okay? You can select to export to one store at a time, okay? Each time when you will select, we will get in real time all the listings that you have in Etsy, so we can make sure if the SKU already exists on Etsy, so we will not create duplicates for you, okay? So this is how I can select. This is the secondary, this is the primary. Once you can select the primary, then you are able either to update Etsy listing price or export new listing, okay? And then I can select the relevant category that I want to export to Etsy. I can select here the fixed shipping profile that I created on the Etsy account. And here you can see, you can either select specific listings, okay? Or you can select collection, okay? The entire collection. As mentioned, if the SKU already exists on Etsy, we will not export it. Okay, so you also have the option to include tags. It depends on the tags that you currently have, if you do want to export it or not. And the fixed quantity, you can decide on what quantity you want to export it. And then you click on export now. We will show you the total listing that you need to export. And then once we will get all of the listings, you will be able to click on export now, and the listings will start be created on Etsy. Okay, so this is our new capability. Okay, we can also go over just a second to share this tab. You can see here the two channels that are now created. You have the primary and the secondary. Okay, so this is our new exciting feature. Highly recommended to use if you're looking to expand to multiple Etsy stores. Okay, so now let's go and talk about our quantity sync. This is super important feature, probably also for the holiday season when you're gonna get more traffic and you want to make sure that you're not gonna oversell, sell something that is out of stock. Okay, so quantity sync will make sure that your quantities will be aligned between the two stores. Okay, so in order for it to work based on the best practice, you have to set SKUs. Again, SKU is the key capability here. You have to have SKU to all of your listings and variation. we provide bi-directional sync and also one-way sync. Okay, I will show you. So you're also able to sync between duplicate SKU. The SKU can be duplicated if it's on a different listing. You cannot use the same SKU on the same listing with different variation. Okay, this is very important to know. Okay, so you can reuse this SKU. For example, if you have November sales and also let's say new collection. Okay, you have two types of collections. And you want this listing to be in those two collections. Then you duplicate the listing, okay? And then you set it on the two different categories. But you cannot use the same SKU. For example, if you have this red shirt and you have it in blue and in black in the same variation, in the same listing on different variation, you cannot reuse it, okay? So you can reuse this SKU on different listings, but not on the same listing with different variations, okay? So please make sure to set SKUs. This is the most important thing. And then you will be able to go to our inventory page. In the inventory page, you can basically view and search for all of your SKUs. You can see all of your listings side by side. You will be able to make sure that all the quantities are aligned, that all the SKUs are aligned on both stores, see if something is missing. If you will see this red sign next to your listing, it means that this listing doesn't have SKU, okay? Please go and fill the SKU if you want to update. If from some reason this listing doesn't have SKU or this variation doesn't have SKU, we will ignore it and we will not update the quantity, okay? What you see here is an example of duplicate SKU, okay? This SKU exists on multiple listings on Shopify. So once we will now run the initial sync, then the quantities will be aligned and then you will see the same quantity on the multiple variations and listings. So this is the first time when you will launch the app, you will be able to run the initial sync. What does it mean? It means that it's first time, it's the initial operation that we provide you to go over all of your listings, okay, and update the quantities. Now you have the option, you have the three options. You have the bi-directional. This is both way update. It means that we will go over all of your Shopify and Etsy listings, and we will see what is the listing that was update the latest. Okay, so if the listing on Shopify was updated the latest, then we will update Etsy based on Shopify. So we will go listing by listing, see what is the last update date, and we will update the other store accordingly. Okay. This is good for sellers that used to manage their inventory and stock between Etsy and Shopify, and both of their stores are updated, okay? Now we also provide the Etsy quantities will override Shopify quantities. It means that up till now, Etsy was your source of truth, and you want Etsy to update Shopify quantities. And you also have the additional option of Shopify quantities will override Etsy. It means that Shopify is your source of truth, and now you want it to update all of Etsy quantities, okay? So you can select those options. What I really recommend, and it's also written here, that you will click on Export Quantities, okay? You have this button. It will send you a CSV file as a backup of all of your SKUs with the quantity before the initial sync, okay? So it's highly recommended. You will get it to your email. Okay, so the common use case for it is when do we update the quantities? So it's either manually If you went and update the quantity on Shopify, we will update it on Etsy, vice versa, okay? We also listen, once order come in, it updates the quantity of the listing on Shopify or on Etsy, and then we update the other store, okay? So this operation happens every 20 minutes, okay, when we will go and update your quantities. So we provide also the 3 options of the sync direction in the advanced settings. Okay, so in the advanced settings screen, you have those 3 options. It depends on your needs. If you want always Shopify to update Etsy, and you don't want Etsy to update Shopify in any case, so select this second option. If you want Etsy always to be the master and never allow Shopify to update Etsy, then select this option. Usually, the default and the common use case is that it will be bi-directional, so you will not oversell. Okay, so those are the options. We also provide location. We will talk about it now. So the location, you can either update one location or multiple location. We will drill down to it in a second. So just some tips and tricks. I really recommend to either use our inventory to search for specific for missing SKUs, for differences. You can also export, as mentioned, the quantity to a CSV file, and then you can see here the differences in the X. You can filter based on it, see if there are any quantities that are not aligned, if there are missing SKUs, okay, if something is low in stock. So this is really recommended to export this CSV file. And you also have the option to reload the listing. You have this button. We always get in real time your quantities. But when you're adding new SKUs to the system and you want to see them, then you can click on the reload new listing, and then we will go and take the new SKUs that were created. Please note, this is a heavy operation. Only if you created new listings on Shopify or on Etsy, then go and do it. Other than that, you will always see all of your existing listings with the updated SKUs in our inventory page. Okay, so the best practice, as mentioned, it's bi-directional. Important thing to note, we always update, okay? If you select the bi-directional, we always update both stores. There is just one exception when the listing is on sold out status on Etsy. Then once you want to reactivate it, please go and manually reactivate the listing on Etsy, update to the new quantity, and we will update Shopify. Other than that, you can always update either on Etsy or on Shopify. It's recommended to update it in Shopify. It's also much easier to go to Shopify. They have this UI when you can, of the inventory, when you can just go and update all of the quantities, and we will update Etsy automatically for you. Just the sold out, please know that you need to manually update it on Etsy. So location, as mentioned, you may have multiple locations, okay? But you say, okay, I have a warehouse in Canada and warehouse in US, and I just want to update Etsy with my US warehouse, okay? What does it mean? It means that you don't want us to go and update your warehouse in Canada. So please make sure to select the location that you want to update in our advanced settings, okay? And then we will only update this location. If this SKU exists on multiple locations, we will ignore the other location. You can select one location, multiple location in our advanced settings. So as I mentioned, it's usually for either if you have a point of sale, or you have multiple warehouses. So this is the use case. Okay, so we talked about the sync direction where you have those three options, okay? And this is the default, the bi-directional. Now let's talk about the order sync, okay? So the order sync, basically, we are helping you to manage all of your orders on Shopify. So whenever a new Etsy order is created, please know that it has to be on status new and paid, okay? Then we replicate the order from Etsy to Shopify, okay? You have to make sure that all of your Etsy SKUs exist on Shopify. Otherwise, we will not be able to recreate this order on Etsy, okay? I will show you if from any reason it is missing, the SKU is missing, then you have the option to go to Shopify, update it, update the listing with the right SKU, and then click on resync, okay? I will show you how it can be done. So once you will see this order imported, you will see here Etsy receipt, Etsy order number, and if there are any notes like personalization, additional information that the end user, the buyer provided, then you will be able to view it here. Okay, so this is how you can track. We have the orders tab. You can see here all the orders that we imported. So you can see here the status. If you, the most common issue is the missing SKU, okay? And then you will have this resync button, okay? If there is an error, then you have this resync button. Just go update the listing inside Shopify with the right SKU and click on resync and the order will be imported, okay? Please note that we import the order that were created up to last 3 days, 72 hours, okay? So then you can go and also view all the orders that were created by our app, okay, on your Shopify account. How you can do it, you can just go to Shopify orders. In the filter menu, you can see here tagged. You can just write Etsy, and then you can see all of the orders that we imported for you, okay? And then you can go and fulfill them. So those are, this is how the orders look like with all of the information. So you can see here all the information, including personalization, messages, tax. You can also decide if you want to import the tax or not. And then you also have the option in the advanced settings to decide if you want to update Etsy with a tracking number or not. If you want us to update Etsy as fulfilled whenever, not just when you fulfill the order, but when you submit the tracking number, okay? So you have the option to say, whenever I update the order as fulfilled, update Etsy order as fulfilled. Or you can say, no, just when I submit a tracking number and fulfilling this order, then update Etsy, okay? So you have those three options. You also have the option not to update Etsy order as fulfilled at all. So all those options exist in the advanced settings. Okay, I just want to mention what duplicate handling mean. Duplicate handling, it means that both for quantity update and for also the orders, it means that this is a duplicate listing, okay? So if this, you can decide and say, if this listing is duplicate, please ignore and don't update the listing at all, okay? So this is an option that you have. Usually it's not default, but this is really based on your needs. Price update, we also provide you in the export listing wizard the option where you select the primary store, just the primary store, to update Etsy listing price. So we will go over all of the SKUs and we will update the price on Etsy based on your Shopify price. Then you can also go to the sync history tab, click on view details if you see the red sign to understand exactly what was the issue, if a specific variation had an issue. And this is it. So thank you very much. Let me know if you have any questions. This is our Shopify app in the Shopify marketplace. Contact me, I'm Shirley, with any questions that you may have. Thank you very much.